How's it going, everyone? I'm future meteorologist Stephen Foray, and thank you for joining me for another week of Weather News with Foray podcast. Now, this week, again, we have a lot of stuff to talk about. Starting it off, locally here, last weekend we had some pretty strong storms roll through the island, bringing us some pretty heavy rain with isolated wind gusts, but wind was not really the story, it was mostly the rain. However, take a look at this special weather statement that the National Weather Service issued for most of Nassau County. They experienced wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour, as well as some small hail was possible. Now, throughout the week, we did have a couple of days where we saw isolated bouts of heavy rain, but the story was mostly last weekend. Also, all the way up near Buffalo, the National Weather Service, Buffalo issued the severe thunderstorm warning, which came with some tornadoes and even flooding, so the severe did reach New York. Actually, on Saturday, I was in Massachusetts. If you didn't already see the short that I posted of the videos, we had a flash flood warning there on Saturday. Luckily, the flooding wasn't too bad, but you could see on the radar those little bits of heavier bouts of rain that came my way. Check out these videos of the heavy rain coming through the dirt. You could see the ponding there, and boy, did it get muddy. But luckily, the flooding wasn't terrible, and along with that, it was a little windy, but not bad at all. So the storms weren't too severe, besides those storms upstate and the storms we are about to talk about leading into our severe weather section of this week. Starting it off with the severe weather a week ago, last Thursday, as the Storm Prediction Center shows, the enhanced risk was again there in Texas as usual and its surrounding states. The National Weather Service issued their key messages explaining just how bad this severe outbreak was. Scattered severe storms happened across eastern New Mexico and western Texas early that afternoon. And of course, with those storms came some very large hail, strong tornadoes, and significant wind gusts, as you see on the radar. On Friday, similar area of the enhanced risk, a little bit more widespread this time. Again, the National Weather Service issued key messages for these devastating storms. Severe thunderstorms continued across the southern plains that night and the next morning. They got some more hail, heavy winds, and along with the possibility for scattered tornadoes, especially in that orange there. I hope everyone affected by these storms is doing okay. On Saturday, the severe storms moved a little bit north. The enhanced risk area was a little bit more north than it has been the past few days. Again, the National Weather Service issued their key messages focusing on these storms. Severe wind gusts were possible with these thunderstorms. Multiple clusters of thunderstorms came through in Arkansas and all those northern places as well by Florida. Of course, with these storms came the risk for the strong winds, hail, and heavy rain as shown on the radar. And lastly, here on Sunday, as shown in the red area there, the moderate risk for severe storms came into play for Texas. Let's see what the National Weather Service had to say about it in their key messages. They describe how a severe weather outbreak happened, especially in those red were the worst parts of those supercells and storms. They saw destructive wind gusts, large hail, tornadoes, and all the above. Heavy rain, as shown on the radar there, just absolutely destructive and devastating. My heart goes out to everyone affected by these storms. While luckily during the week, it was a little bit more on the quiet side. Throughout the week, we did have the flood potential in many different areas throughout the country, from whether it be a severe storm or just those downpours we had throughout the country. Flooding was definitely a concern. That does it for this week's Weather News podcast. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the warm weather, but make sure to stay hydrated.